Magic Quadrant. SOAR is still pretty new technology, about 2-3 years in. But specifically in the DoD, having a way of keeping human in the loop. So, when it comes to AI, I know a lot of DoD customers don't want to automate everything. They want to have approval or denial based upon what type of action is going to occur on the threat that is detected. So when you look at AI, if anyone has seen the movie iRobot, this, a bunch of cyborgs, very similar though. Cyborgs can actively think and adapt and respond in a very quick and efficient manner. When you really look at it, you don't look at it at the cyborg level, but when it comes to anything with compute and computers today, being able to quickly and efficiently and automatically find where the real threats are and be able to respond to those very quickly. So the first thing we're going to look at is to be able to detect and investigate. So beyond the known, any folks in the room that have worked with any traditional SIEM solution today knows that there's the bad and good. It's all in black and white. The bad could be somebody attempting to log in more than 5 times incorrectly. Their account gets locked out, and they're trying to do this across multiple machines. Could signify some brute force attack behavior going on. But also the good. What if somebody had credentials to a system they shouldn't have been logging into, but they logged in successful? What a lot of folks see in the security realm today is what you're looking at over on the right-hand side of the screen. So the unknown, the gray area, where you're looking at or detecting something anomalous type behavior, being able to stitch all that together, but also having a command center where your security analysts can log into and analyze, investigate, and remediate any sort of threat that's detected. So I put this slide up. This goes for any UBA product, not just Splunk. Splunk has a UBA product, but any user behavior analytics product that's out there today. Being able to go in and look for insider threat detection, utilizing machine learning and a lot of unsupervised machine learning where it's going to go in and learn if something is anomalous, where a true threat is, without having a human necessarily look at all of these different events that are occurring. If you look over at the right-hand side of the screen, talk about alert fatigue, billions and billions of raw events that are coming in. How many of them are actual real threats? So being able to filter down with some sort of machine learning capability to look at maybe reducing that from 10 billion to 10 million anomalies, then being able to reduce that even further and finding a threat where you might find 1,000 particular threats on the network, and then being able to feed that through a kill chain. So any user behavior analytics product that's out there today is basically going to be able to go in and start feeding different disparate data sources, as you can see there on the left-hand side of the screen. Commonly, the way security teams have done this in the past is going through and manually looking through all these different log files, trying to connect the dots. But being able to feed it through any user behavior analytics platform and apply some unsupervised machine learning to it and finding some sort of anomalous behaviors, as you can see over in the middle part of the screen here, to show like unusual machine access, things like unusual network activity. You might see thousands of anomalies in your environment. That doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. But when you run that through a machine learning algorithm again and narrow that down even further and stitch all that anomalous behavior together, you then are able to narrow that down and detect where the real threats are, to find lateral movement in your environment. Somebody hopped on one machine, they gained access to it, and they're moving laterally throughout the environment. And true malicious behavior that's occurring. These are the most common insider threats that most folks see out there today. Account misuse, data exfiltration, external attacks, lots of lateral movement. So that's how we detect, or any security analyst would detect, any sort of threat, real-time threat that's occurring in their environment at any given point in time. Now, the next step, specifically when it comes to AI, is actually taking response on those threats. Normally, the way that works is you have a data platform. any data platform, data analytics platform, that can bring in all those disparate logs, correlate that information together, perform analysis on that data, and then be able to next take a step of actions on that as well. A lot of times with security tools that are out there today, security analysts are assigned this. They go out and they take action manually. It's a very manual, time-consuming process. But having the actual key capability of actually automating that. And that's what you would do with a SOAR technology. So SOAR is a very hot topic today. What you're looking at right now is the Ooda Loop. This was actually a term that was actually coined by a Colonel Boyd in the US Air Force. And it actually applies to a lot of cybersecurity today. And when you look at SOAR solutions today, looking at the left-hand side of the screen, being able to observe and orient a lot of the behavior that's occurring in the environment, data that you're bringing off firewall devices, next-gen firewall devices, IDS, IPS systems, and feeding that into some log analytics platform or some SIM tool. At that point, like I mentioned before, it's a very manual process after that point. You assign something to a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 type analyst to go out and take action. And that action may be logging on to a next-gen firewall, putting a system on a quarantine network. These are all just typical examples of different actions that a security analyst could take. When you look at automating this, that next step in AI, you have the ability to actually orchestrate this in a security orchestration, automation, response platform where you can go through and feed typical steps that an analyst will walk through something called the playbook. So with the playbook, you can automate a step of actions that one would normally take. And a manual process may take 3-4 days for somebody to go out and investigate malware. But being able to automate that in a true SOAR platform, you have the capability of making API calls to a lot of the different key security technologies that are out there today. A common one that we normally see is like a malware outbreak. Normally, a security analyst would be assigned this in their system where they'll go through and maybe upload the hash of a file that's suspected as being malicious to VirusTotal. If VirusTotal checks out that 5 different security vendors out there report that as a true anomaly and a true malicious file, you actually have the ability to go in and look at Carbon Black and see how many other systems have been affected by that malicious file as well. Being able to feed all that through a playbook, rather than doing that in 2-3 days at a time, you have the capability of doing that in a matter of minutes. All right, I think I'm doing pretty good on time. We have about 4 minutes left. I'm going to open it up to any Q&A. Anyone have any questions on anything I covered? Yes, sir.
So I saw your orchestration solution seems to apply to the IP network. Have you seen that the threat vectors are more on the IP side, the email side, or have you?
Yes. So, yeah. So basically, where are we seeing the attacks occur on the IP side? The different types of assets that are out there. I see it as a mix of everything, and having a SOAR tool that has the ability to go out and make API calls or automate normal steps or actions that a human would normally take. Being able to automate that in a technology is going to save a lot of time and hassle. Yes, sir.
I have a bunch of historical log data collected on our systems over the last 3 years. And you said this is an unsupervised type of learning. There is a possibility of unsupervised. Can we take a lot of historical data, feed it through a machine algorithm, and then take a look at our current environment and say, what's going on?
Yeah, so there's different ways of doing it. And like I said, I don't want to drill down into our technology specifically, but the way we normally see it is you have unsupervised, supervised machine learning. A lot of log and analytics platforms out there have machine learning algorithms that you can load into them, where you were to do a mass load of data and you want to perform some sort of baseline on that data and see where something deviates statistically, mathematically with that. You have the capability of doing that with any core logging platform that has a machine learning algorithm built into it. User behavior analytics is a little bit different because it's a form of unsupervised learning. So basically, it's sitting there with a bunch of data models and basically observing what normal behavior looks like. And like I showed on that prior slide, being able to have the machine intelligently look at that and see when something deviates outside of that core baseline. Did I touch on your question? Okay, good. All right. Any other questions? No? All right. Thanks, everyone, for attending. So Splunk's at booth 113 if anyone wants to stop by and catch a demo or chat with us further. And I thank everyone for coming. I don't want to steal your clip.
No, you did. Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you. We're going to just keep going here and get things squared away. You have your own computer? Okay. Do you know how to? Okay, gotcha. So while we get up for the second presentation, will be Jeremy Martin from NexTech Solutions, presenting deeper analysis capability at the speed of cyber, which seems to be a theme what General Fogarty just talked about. So you let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the 15 seconds. I'll put my hand up at 5 and 4 and 3, 2, 1, so you can keep that up.
I'm not the presenter. Magic